Welcome to Learn or Be Learned. We either learn from others or others learn from us. The former is able to help us become a better, faster you. Follow me weekly as I dig up stories like a true anthropologist would on one of the 3 series called Guest Conversations, Book Applications, or my Small Talk Explorations. I'm your host, Shiva Danshaker, and let's talk. Okay, so in this small talk episode, I want to get right into it, right? So I was having a talk with a friend and we were discussing generally what are some really good qualities to have in life, and things like, emotional stability is huge. And we were talking about, what qualities in terms of success are huge. And I came up with 2 that I think are just vital for success. And 1 is patience, and 2 is discipline. So patience was something I was trying to develop and kind of embody, I guess. I don't know how to acquire patience, but it took a lot of thinking and, being okay with moments and understanding that this is a long game, etc., etc. But then there was discipline, right? How can you just get up and go, go, go? How do some people just do that? And, what about when you get a thought of, maybe I just want to lay down and watch some TV, or I don't want to go to the gym today, and then you convince yourself not to go because you had a busy day, or today was not a great day, so you don't want to go to the gym, right? There's so many things that we do that self-sabotage us in order to prevent our discipline from forming, and discipline is the foundation to habits. Now, I love the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. I think it's a great book. I've heard so many great things from other readers, but I don't think James Clear talks a lot about discipline, and I think discipline is the foundation to building those habits, right? How do you just go from being chronically lazy to just going? And this is where Mel Robbins comes in, and she has this book called 5-Second Rule that I'm reading right now. And so she has this idea where we can go from idea to action in 5 seconds before your brain tries to talk you out of it. And she claims it's a rule of metacognition, which basically means becoming aware of your own thought process. So what you're really doing is you're interrupting your own habit loop by counting backwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it takes you back to your prefrontal cortex, right? So you interrupt this habit loop of like zoning out or trying not to, giving yourself time to convince yourself not to do it, and so on. But the part that is so interesting is that it awakens your prefrontal cortex again, which is the area of your brain in charge of cognitive control, and it is involved in, influencing attention, impulse inhibition, memory, cognitive flexibility, etc., etc. But the what's interesting is you have that 5-second window, and then you just go. And what you're doing is when your mind zones in on that 1, you just do it. And what you're doing is giving yourself no time to talk yourself out of it. And counting forward doesn't do this because you can technically count indefinitely, and thus your brain, which is what I'm assuming is remaining in its habit loop and not being disrupted for you to go take that action. So, that's just a really quick breakdown of this. If you want to hear more, stay tuned. The book episode is coming out soon, and I'll go more in depth on this interesting topic. But I've been trying it out lately, and it's a game changer, and I'm really excited to share it with you guys because I want you guys to try it out. And please feel free to message me or tell me if it worked, if it didn't. Maybe there's, different caveats on when it would work, when this wouldn't work. But it's really good at just getting you to just go. When you really feel like you're in this rut or this where you're looking for motivation, but motivation isn't really the answer, it's discipline. And you can finally answer the question, how do these people that just hate working out or hate doing this and that, they're constantly going day in, day out, and they're still doing it, and how do they do all this? Well, first, Momentum is a huge part. It keeps you going in whatever you're doing, right? Which is why it's always a great idea to keep some sort of visual when you're starting a new habit, right? When you're crossing off the days in a calendar, or you start seeing a chain link or an app. But then the question still remains, what about those people that are transitioning from a rut to building the better habits, or, someone who just doesn't have the motivation to push themselves going forward, which is not the answer. It's discipline, right? So if you really think it's important, everyone has time for what they believe is important. If you do have some spare time, you do believe it's important, like if you think working out is going to help you in the long run, which it will, your health wise, your looks, your cognition, everything, right? Your limberness, everything will be better. So you know that, but then you don't do it. And you know that you have an hour a day that you kill just, going on your phone or watching some TV. That I'm not saying you can't do those things. I'm saying that we do have time for things we value. And if you value this, then try the 5 second rule and maybe it'll work out. And, I always suggest Atomic Habits is a great book to read. And if you haven't had a chance to read that book, or you still want to know more about that book, want to read that book but don't have the time, I do have an episode on it, episode 21. It is a book episode, and yeah, I appreciate you guys, sticking around. I do want to give a quick update. Things are steamrolling ahead, and we are switching to video podcast platforms soon enough, and I will be out with the details when that is live. And I have a few exciting news for you guys that are in the coming months ahead, so I'm really excited to drop those when it's ready. And I just want to say thank you so much for everyone that listens and continues to listen. If you guys could just, give me a review and a rating on Spotify or Apple, I would be so grateful, because it means a lot to me, since I invest so much time, energy and money into this, and to see that you guys actually enjoy it. Maybe some of you are enjoying it but don't have the time to do it. If you could just take a second, that would just mean so much. Thank you so much, everybody, and I will see you guys in the next episode.